Southeast Kansas.
Plus, we've got some warmer temperatures coming into the area. We're going to tell you all about them in just a few minutes.
Changed history and sparked protests nationwide. I'm Natalie Brand with a look at how states are reacting to the Supreme Court's ruling to overturn Roe v. Wade.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A boil advisory has been issued for a community in Southeast Kansas. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Jalen Banks. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment has issued a boil water advisory for the city of Fredonia's Republic water supply system. The advisory was issued because of a loss of pressure due to an equipment failure. 15 cyclists with the Bike the U.S. for MS organization pedal their way across the country over the next 2 months for a good cause. They are biking from Yorktown, Virginia to San Francisco, California, raising money and awareness for MS. On Sunday, they made their rest stop in Pittsburgh. According to the National MS Society, over 2 million people worldwide have been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
You know, it gives you perseverance. It gives you, all of us are goal-oriented, and it just makes you want to, now that we're kind of through some of the hardest parts of the ride, there's still challenges ahead, but it just makes you want to complete the goal. And that was really my first reason for, for looking into this.
You can find more information on how to join in or help out at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Wyandotte Nation holds their Summer Youth Intern Program. It's for tribal youth who are a part of the Wyandotte Nation. Assignments in the program range from education, fitness, elder services, and even gaming. Participants also get to learn more about their heritage.
Since 2007, many of those interns have now came back, and they're full-time employees here at the tribe, and they go through our scholarship program, and so it's just kind of an opportunity for them to come back and contribute back to the tribe.
Participants must be ages 16 to 22 and be enrolled in high school or as a full-time college student. The Clay Cup holds their annual bowl-a-thon in downtown Neosho. The Clay Cup for 5 hours straight are making bowls for soup kitchens in Southwest Missouri that will eventually go for sale in November, and the proceeds will go straight to the soup kitchens. Their goal is to make 500 bowls.
It is a wonderful feeling because we artists don't necessarily have a lot of financial resources, but we do have skill, we do have some time, and we do have a lot of motivation to help the people in our own communities.
To find more on how you can get involved, just go to KOAMnewsnow.com. The James River Church of Joplin is partnering with the Joplin School District along with other community organizations for community service projects for their project partnership. On Sunday, the church and its volunteers went to Jung Stadium in Joplin and watched the entire 70-bus fleet of the Joplin School District.
And so it's very good for the community to be engaged from different organizations and different standpoints. And with our improvement plan, what we're trying to do is always have the community involved in our schools. So we're ecstatic that they want to continue the relationship.
The James River Church is located at 1850 South Maiden Lane in Joplin. All right, Chris, what do you have for us?
I have some news in the weather department, at least, that we are going to start to see some warmer temperatures. Not seeing it just yet. I mean, we are warming up, but not as warm as we're going to get. Skywatch Storm Tracker not showing us a lot out there right now, as you can see. We have to go a little further to the west, where you can see there's some big batches of rain across southern Kansas. But if you watch, there's some of them trying to get into our far western counties, but for the most part, they're breaking apart at the I-35 corridor. So through the rest of the day, temperatures are going to continue to warm up. We're looking at an afternoon high of about 81 degrees with a nice east breeze. And of course, temperatures are going to cool off tonight. They're going to be relatively chilly, but mild when it comes to this time of the year. Overnight lows dipping into the lower 60s, upper 50s for a number of us. And on that 7-day forecast, take a look at this. We got temperatures warming back up, and I say warming back up, I mean summer is going to go ahead and make itself known once again across the 4 states. We're going to be nice today, we're going to be nice tomorrow, and then we're going to start to see that warm up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, into the weekend. We do have increasing storm chances as we head into the weekend. Maybe even some showers on the 4th of July, but I don't think the 4th of July is going to be a complete washout. Of course, we're going to break down a complete forecast for you here just a little bit later.
All right. Well, I mean, Saturday we were... Well, the ramifications from the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade is still being felt as legislators around the country now move to either to restrict or protect access to abortions. Natalie Brand has more details from outside the Supreme Court.
D.C. police are on standby for more protests this week after Friday's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade ignited demonstrations nationwide. In Jackson, Mississippi, the city at the center of the Supreme Court case that's changed history, the abortion clinic known as the Pink House says it will provide services as long as the law allows.
We've lived so long with this privilege of being able to make this choice, and we're not ready to give it up yet.
We've always been a pro-life state, but now we get to actually live it out.
Friday's 5-4 decision by the conservative court returns the issue of abortion to individual states.
8 states had laws that banned abortion as soon as the decision was handed down, and more states could soon follow within the next few months.
The people of Oklahoma have decided through their elected leaders, and the governor signed legislation making abortion illegal in the state of Oklahoma from the moment of conception.
Highlighting what will become a patchwork of state laws, 16 Democratic states and Washington, D.C. have laws that protect abortion rights. In Michigan, Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer is at odds with her Republican-controlled legislature.
With the current legislature that I have, there is no common ground, which is the sad thing. They've already introduced legislation to criminalize and throw nurses and doctors in jail.
According to a new CBS News poll, nearly 60% of Americans surveyed disapprove of the Supreme Court's decision, and 2/3 of women disapprove. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
The CBS News poll also shows a majority of Americans surveyed say that they think it's likely the court will take steps to limit same-sex marriage or access to birth control. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next, KOAM News at noon. Authorities are investigating mysterious deaths at a nightclub in South Africa. And later, we're making Bacon Barbecue Joe in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We're now broadcasting from a temporary transmitter lower on the tower as we prepare to put the new, more powerful transmitter at the top. Our signal might be a little glitchy for some of you for the time being, but when this project is finished, we'll be broadcasting with more power than ever. Police are investigating on how 21 teenagers died in a nightclub in South Africa Sunday. Parents of the victims are demanding answers, as CBS's Tina Kraus reports from London.
Forensic teams carried bodies away as investigators searched for clues to explain how 21 teenagers died inside a South African nightclub. Employees say at first they thought people had passed out from drinking too much, but then realized some had stopped breathing. When witnesses saw victims keep collapsing one after the other, they called police. Investigators say it's possible victims died from something they ate, drank, or smoked. Some on the scene suggested a possible gas leak. This woman lost her daughter and says she was just 17, out enjoying a night with her friends. Some were celebrating the end of school exams. Others were having a birthday party. Authorities say the youngest victim was 13 years old. Police say bouncers struggled to control crowds at the club, but have ruled out a stampede. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
It is illegal to serve drinks to those under 18 in South Africa. Police stripped the nightclub of its liquor license as the investigation continues. Still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Say goodbye to burgers and dogs, because we've got a sloppy good idea just in time for the 4th.
But first, Chris Warner returns with your complete forecast.
Well, it was another warm start to the day. Actually, sorry, strike that. It's been so warm for so long you kind of forget. It was a cool start to the day. but we are warming up quite nicely. So I want to start off with this. So we're going to go right into the future. Later today, it may actually get a little bit warmer than what we were originally thinking this morning, because we're seeing a lot of sunshine despite some cloud cover that's out there trying to work across the area. Temperatures as we head into the overnight tonight, dropping off into the upper 70s, and then we're going to get into the roughly the mid 70s, or sorry, goodness. It's been a long day. It's been a very long day. We're going to cool off. That's the point, is we are going to cool off. Right now, though, 7th and Range Line, as you can see, apparently something is burning, a very large fire out there. But in the sky, we've got partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperature is sitting at 80 degrees. We were looking at maybe 81 as a high, maybe pushing 82, 83. Still got that east-northeast breeze. Dew point and humidity, though, very low, so there's no heat index, which is very nice. Temperatures across the region look about the same. As you can see, we're sitting in the upper 70s to approaching 80 degrees for most of us. Wider view, I wanted to show this because here's what's getting ready to happen. We've got nice temperatures across the Midwest, but what is going on is there's a ridge building out in the desert Southwest. It's going to eventually make its way here, which means our temperatures are going to start to warm right back up. So we have these scattered showers that are trying to make their way in. They're coming out from southern Kansas. So let's take a look at southern Kansas. There's this big batch of rain. Big batch of rain. But the majority of these are dying off once they hit the I-35 corridor. There's just a few trying to get into our neck of the woods. They shouldn't really be a problem for the rest of today. In fact, we're expecting these partly to mostly cloudy skies, heading for that high of around 82. Then we're going to start to cool back off. We're looking for a relatively chilly night again for this time of year. As we head into the overnight, we're going to dip back down to about 61. Most of us going to be in the lower 60s for overnight lows. So let's take a look into the future, because that's why we call it the future track, because it looks into the future. So again, lower 60s to maybe some upper 50s in some areas as we head through into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is going to be our last somewhat mild day, because what's going to end up happening here is that ridge is going to start to shift, and you're going to see this. Here it goes. We go into Wednesday. We start off, again, nice and cool early in the morning. And then those temperatures really start to warm up. So, again, pretty decent today. Not looking too bad tomorrow. And then we have 89 Wednesday, 92 on Thursday, 93 on Friday. Now, the one thing that does increase, some of that humidity going to start to pick up. So rain chances are going to start to pick up over the next several days into the holiday weekend. Now, I do have some good news. Despite that, it doesn't appear as though the 4th of July is necessarily going to be a complete washout. Now, I've been looking at some stuff, and of course, we'll have Nick and Doug watching the forecast all week long as well, and we're going to keep an eye on it. We're not looking at necessarily severe weather, but there might be a few stray showers, maybe a rumble of thunder on the 4th of July, but I think overall, the day when it comes time for fireworks is not going to be too bad. And of course, we're returning to summer. So there's a bee in the studio. Well, I don't do bees. And thankfully, it's not by me.
Well, we'll be all right. If we get stung, then, you know.
We'll just have a much more interesting newscast, but he's just hanging out over there. But he needs to get back outside. He's probably in here because it's a bit warmer in here than it is outside.
Yeah, probably.
So, you know, but
I mean, luckily, as of today, we're going to have a good 4th of July, be able to go outside, light some fireworks up.
Absolutely.
And normally that smoke gets rid of bugs, so we wouldn't have any bee issues
so what you're
on the
saying,
4th of July.
Light some fireworks off in the studio.
I don't know if management would be happy with that, but maybe one day.
It would get rid of the bug.
It'd be a fun segment to have on the noon.
I think it might be, Jalen.
All right. Thank you, Chris. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero. Sergeant Claire Moore served in the Army and Air Force during Vietnam. There he earned a Purple Heart among many other medals. His hometown is Galena, and we're proud to recognize Sergeant Claire Moore, today's four-state hero. Most of us have had a Sloppy Joe at some time in our lives. Now Howard's got a new twist on that old favorite today in the Mr. Fruit Test Kitchen.
Is your 4th of July menu looking the same as last year and the year before that? If so, you owe it to yourself and your guests to serve something a bit different. Rather than busting out hamburgers and hot dogs, what do you think about serving a kicked up version of Sloppy Joe? We start by cooking a few slices of bacon. Once they're crispy, we drain them. Meanwhile, in the same skillet, we brown some ground beef along with a chopped onion. Sautéing the meat and onions in the bacon drippings gives this lots of flavor. Now we add in the bacon that we've crumbled, along with some barbecue sauce and a little salt and pepper. Then it's up to you whether you want to serve it right out of the skillet or take it outside to keep it warm on your grill. Either way, spoon it onto a roll and you're good to go. Since it's cooked ahead of time, everyone can help themselves. Plus, each bite is packed with a saucy, smoky flavor thanks to the barbecue sauce and the bacon. To get the recipe for our Bacon Barbecue Joe, all you have to do is go to our website today so you can have it in plenty of time before the 4th. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a sloppy good way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
Skywatch Storm Tracker showing us some showers moving into some of our western counties. Most of these are going to fall apart before they get too much further. If they're coming from this batch that's out in western Kansas, and as you can see, the majority of them, once they reach I-35, they're really not going anywhere else. So we shouldn't have an issue with those. We're going to head up to 81, maybe even 82 for some of us. And then summer returns by the time we get into the week. And as summer returns, so do some rain chances. We're going to have to keep an eye on all of that.
Very good.
All right, Dow, what do you have for us coming up at 5?
Well, a whole lot of fun. As the nation grapples with the changing landscape for abortion rights, corporate America is slowly coming forward as a growing list of companies have said they will cover travel expenses for employees who choose to go to another state for abortion services. Plus, we're going to tell you about a new podcast from the McDonald County School District, and we'll get an in-depth look at Wildcat Glades in Joplin. Hope you join us for those stories, a whole lot more. Of course, it's all coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dow. Join us for more. Thank you for joining us at KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.